Hey there, I'm Sarah Thompson, 32 years old and part of Thompson's Tools, our family's hardware store. It's been around forever, practically the heart of our small Midwest town. I've worked here since I could reach the cash register, learning everything there is to know about running the place. I always figured it would be mine someday. Sarah, can you check on that shipment of power tools? That's my dad, Robert. He's been teaching me the ropes since day one. On it, Dad, I reply, heading to the stockroom. As I count the boxes, a smile creeps onto my face. This store, it's more than just a place to work. It's our legacy. My little brother, Mike, though, that's a different story. While I'm here busting my butt, he's out chasing his latest big break. Just then Lisa, my best friend, pops in during her lunch break from the local paper. Hey Sarah, how's business? Same old, same old. How's the journalism world treating you? We chat for a bit until a familiar face walks in. David, my boyfriend and our most loyal customer. There's my favorite hardware expert, he grins, leaning against the counter. What can I do for you today, Mr. Contractor? I tease back. As we flirt, old Joe shuffles by, muttering something about young love. Joe's been here since I was in pigtails, practically family at this point. All right, lovebirds, some of us are trying to work here, Joe chuckles. The day moves along with the usual hustle and bustle. But as I'm closing up, I hear Ree's voices from the back office. It's Dad and Mike. You promised this was the last time, Mike. Dad's voice is tense. I know. I just need a little more time. I freeze with my hand on the doorknob. What has Mike gotten himself into now? And why does Dad sound so worried? That night, as I drive home, I can't shake the uneasy feeling. Mike's always been the wild card in the family, but this feels different. More serious. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But deep down, I know this is just the beginning of something big, something that could change everything. Dad had been acting strange for months, always whispering with Mike, brushing me off every time I asked about the store's finances. Dad, can we go over the quarterly reports? Not now, Sarah. I've got it under control. But I knew he didn't. I could feel it. Then came the day that changed everything. I pulled up to the store, coffee in hand, ready for another day. But the lights were off, the doors locked. And there, in the window, was a sign that made my heart drop. Under new management. My hands shook as I dialed Dad's number. What's going on? Why is the store closed? Meet me at the house, Sarah. We need to talk. When I got there, Dad looked defeated. Mike was sitting there too, with a smirk on his face. I sold the store, Dad said, avoiding my eyes. To who? To me, Mike chimed in, grinning like the cat that swallowed the canary. For how much? I demanded, my voice shaking. Dad mumbled something under his breath. What was that? I asked, barely keeping it together. $1, he finally said. The room spun. $1. Are you kidding me? Mike needs a fresh start, Sarah. You're already successful. You don't need the store. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I poured my life into that store. How could they do this? Tough break, sis, Mike shrugged. But hey, maybe you can come work for me now. I stormed out, tears blurring my vision. I ended up at Lisa's place, sobbing on her couch. He sold it to Mike for $1. I hiccuped. Lisa was in shock. I don't get it. Why would he do this? I whispered. Lisa's journalist instincts kicked in. Something's not adding up. Give me a few days. I'll dig around. The next day, I met David for lunch. He was furious when I told him what had happened. This isn't right, Sarah. There's got to be more to the story. I know, but what can I do? It's done, I said, feeling defeated. A few days later, Lisa called me, her voice urgent. Sarah, you need to hear this. I've been asking around. Mike's in deep with some gambling debts, dangerous people kind of debts. Suddenly, everything clicked. Dad hadn't sold the store to help Mike start fresh. He'd done it to bail him out. Looks that way, Lisa continued. He probably thought he was protecting him. Mike? I felt sick. Our family legacy traded away to cover Mike's mistakes. I couldn't let this stand. Determined, I marched down to the store, ready to confront Mike. There he was, lounging at my old desk with his feet up like he owned the place. Well, technically, he did. Well, he sneered, come to beg for your job back. You're unbelievable, I snapped. How could you take advantage of Dad like this? Mike leaned forward, a smug grin plastered on his face. Look, sis, I'm in charge now. You're not welcome here anymore, so why don't you just run along? I was about to fire back when my phone rang. It was Joe, his voice shaky. Sarah, it's Joe. I've been fired. Mike's letting all the long-timers go. Says we're too expensive. It felt like someone had punched me in the gut. This wasn't just about me anymore. Mike was tearing apart everything we had built. As I stormed out of the store, I made a promise to myself. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. Mike might think he'd won, but he had no idea what was coming. I was going to fight for Thompson's tools. For Joe, for everything our family had worked so hard to create, and I wasn't going to rest until justice was served. Lisa and I began digging, gathering any information we could. We documented everything, every misstep, every shady deal. Look at this, Lisa said one night, spreading papers across the table. Mike's behind on payments to almost every supplier. And check out these customer complaints, I added, scrolling through my phone. The quality has gone downhill fast. Watching the store I loved crumble from the inside out was unbearable. But I had to stay focused. David was a huge help too, spreading the word in his circles. I told the guys at the site about Mike's unreliability. David said, "Word's getting around fast." Joe, now on the outside, had become our inside man, keeping us updated on Mike's day-to-day screw-ups. "He's clueless, Sarah. Can't even work the register right," Joe reported one night. Then, out of the blue, Dad called. "Sarah, can we talk?" I made a mistake. We met at a diner. Dad looked rough, like he hadn't slept in weeks. "I'm sorry, Sarah. I thought I was helping Mike, but maybe we can work together to fix this." I stared at him, disbelief bubbling up inside. "Fix this? You sold our family legacy for $1, Dad. $1? It's too late for sorry." I stormed out, fury and hurt waging war inside me. But I didn't have time to dwell on it. Later that night, Joe called again, panic in his voice. "Sarah, you've got to get down here. Mike's selling off inventory for pennies on the dollar. Your dad's helping him." My heart raced as I sped to the store. When I arrived, there they were, Dad and Mike, loading up a truck with our best stock. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I shouted. Mike spun around, caught red-handed. "Mind your own business, Sarah." "This is my business. You're destroying everything we built." Dad stepped in, pleading. "Sarah, please, Mike needs the money. We're just trying to." "To what?" "Ruin everything." "Congratulations. You've succeeded." Years of pent-up resentment and betrayal came pouring out. We yelled, we cried, we accused. It was ugly, but it was necessary. As I left that night, I knew things would never be the same. But I also knew what I had to do next. The following morning, I met with Lisa. "It's time," I said firmly. "Let's go public." We gathered our evidence and took it to the local business association, exposing Mike's mismanagement and Dad's unethical practices. The town erupted in outrage. "I can't believe it," exclaimed Mrs. Johnson, one of our longtime customers. "I won't be shopping there anymore." That's when things really spiraled out of control. One of Mike's gambling buddies, tired of waiting for payment, went to the cops. Suddenly, there was a full-blown investigation into Mike's finances and the suspicious sale of the store. Mike panicked and tried to sell the store, but nobody would touch it. The bank froze his accounts, leaving him trapped. Amid all this chaos, Dad suffered a heart attack. It wasn't major, but it was a wake-up call. When I visited him in the hospital, he looked frail. "Sarah," he said, his voice weak, "I'm so sorry for everything. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I was wrong." I wasn't ready to forgive him yet, but I listened. It was a start. Then came the bombshell. Our lawyer, Mr. Peters, called me. "Sarah, Mike's activities have voided the original sale. Legally, the store is yours." I could hardly believe it. The next day, I went to the store, and there was old Joe, grinning from ear to ear. "Boss," he said, handing me the keys. "Welcome home." The following months were a whirlwind. I rehired Joe and the others, working day and night to rebuild our reputation. Slowly but surely, customers started to return. Mike, on the other hand, was facing jail time for fraud and unpaid debts. Dad moved away to live with my aunt, giving me the space I needed to find my footing. Standing behind the counter of Thompson's Tools, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in months. David walked in, kissing me gently. "How's my favorite hardware store owner?" he asked with a smile. Lisa popped in next, ready for our lunch date. Old Joe shuffled by, muttering something about young folks and their lunch breaks. I looked around at my little family, not bound by blood, but by choice. We'd been through hell, but we'd come out stronger. The store wasn't just a business anymore. It was a symbol of what we could overcome together. As I flipped the open sign, I knew one thing for sure. Whatever came next, we were ready for it. And that's the end of my story, folks. Now I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have forgiven your father and brother or cut them out of your life completely? What do you think is the right balance between family loyalty and self-respect? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter, and I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama and lessons learned the hard way. Thanks for listening.